Tom Vocal from Kubota to help me out, and Mitchell Gordy from Mythco.
I want people to compare me to other people because that's how I get better. What that means to other people, I don't care. I know what it means to me.
Mitchell, you take a lot of pride in Kubota country, and you're passionate. You know, you bleed orange. Why is that?
It's kind of like, what needs do you need met? And we'll see what we have that can fit your needs.
I'm watching you on Instagram. You're constantly doing all these jobs. How are you lining them up?
What I have focused on is,
what's been your most memorable moment in the tractor and making this transition from mowing to tractor business?
And you know, she came back and said, well, I wasn't the cheapest, I wasn't the most expensive, but what sold me was.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Equip Expo. We are here at the Kubota booth. I've already about lost my voice, so I brought Tom Vocal from Kubota to help me out, and Mitchell Gordy from Mythco.
Yes, sir.
And you are a huge Kubota country fan.
Big time. Yeah. If you look at my shop, you'd know why. So there's a lot of orange going on. So I love the Kubota brand and use it every single week.
Yes, sir. But now you went from lawn mowing to a tractor business. So give us a little bit of the backstory. And all of that is in addition to your other career as a state trooper.
Oh, yeah. So at the end of 2022, I decided mowing for hire was no longer for me. I wanted to improve my quality of life and lower stress. So I stopped mowing for hire, which opened up a plethora of free time and flexibility with my schedule, focused more on tractor work. I purchased a Kubota Grand L 4760 the summer of 2022 and started doing more tractor work, some light grading, gravel driveway repairs, brush cutting, odd and end tractor jobs, became a Kubota partner at the early part of 2023, and I've been blessed enough to have an SZ26 stand-on in the fleet, as well as a Z781i. So I use the two mowers a lot, at my house, my neighbor's house, and stuff like that. So loving the turf side of Kubota as well as the dirt side of Kubota.
Yeah, we do a lot of dirt and a lot of turf, and we really appreciate that as well. But the one thing that was interesting when we first talked about it is that decision to improve your quality of life and to change your business model a little bit. And if you wanted to share a little bit more about that, transition for different customers and things like that, I think that was a pretty interesting story.
Yeah, so, I'm a full-time law enforcement officer in the state of North Carolina with the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. I have been for 17 years, and I've got 10 more years to go before I can retire. So until the meantime, I didn't want my business to be a source of stress, because law enforcement is stressful enough dealing with society and the Motoring Republic of North Carolina. I didn't want Mythco Outdoor Services to be another source of stress. And my business used to be, when I was running full time, I had a crew working for me. We were full bore, 100% a lawn mowing crew, and that's all we did was cut grass. Right. And transitioning when I shut down Mitchell's Lawn Care LLC, started Mythco Outdoor Services at the beginning of this year, transitioning out of mowing for hire, like I said, and more into tractor work. I purchased the tractor with the sole purpose of transitioning into tractor work for 2023. It's a different clientele. The services that I'm offering, the profit margins are much higher. But again, the biggest thing is it gave me the flexibility of scheduling that job when I wanted to do it, and when I could do it, instead of being, subject to that weekly grind of like I had to mow every single week. And if it rained or something like that and it threw a curveball, I had to adapt to that. Right. But now, I can schedule a tractor job, a grading job, whatever, when Mitchell wants to do it. So if the customer hears, hey, I'm 3 weeks out, if I want to go to the beach, I can. Yeah. I couldn't do that cutting grass, but now, venturing into tractor work with the Kubota I bought, like I said, it's opened up a window of opportunity that I didn't have before.
Right. And like you said, that improved your profit margins on those, 100%. which is great. But that was the thing that lit a light bulb in me was when you talked about being able to schedule it yourself. And you can work with your customers. When it's mow and go, you got to be there every week, just like you said.
Yep.
And there can
you don't have a choice.
There's a tremendous amount of stress with that and everything else with your other jobs. So I think that's a great thing. So I think that part of your story is really interesting, that, you still like to do outside things other than just the law enforcement to make a little extra, how you're doing it. but it's also, probably pretty pleasurable to help people out and do things like that.
Oh yeah.
With what you're doing for them on their properties.
Oh yeah.
And things like
so
that.
and it's with the biggest thing that I've been doing with the Kubota tractor is gravel driveway repairs. And talking to these customers that have been dealing with a gravel driveway that's been in a state of disrepair for God knows how long, and speaking to the husband, and like the wife's been like, punching him around like, fix our driveway, da, da, da. And it's not a cheap process,
right.
Especially the longer the driveway, the higher the price,
Right.
But some of the driveways that I have repaired, I mean, they have been rough. Like, you need a 4-wheel drive truck to go down these driveways. Yeah. And for one, to see the before and after product when it's done is awesome. I love it. I love being able to look back, and see that wow factor of where it started and how it ended. And then hearing from the customer, like the first time they drive down that driveway and it doesn't like rearrange their jaw or throw their back out, like I get to hear that from them and their reviews, and just how satisfied they are with something that they have to drive and touch every single day. You really don't get that with grass cutting. It looks pretty, and a lot of homeowners really, they don't spend a ton of time in their yard and driving around their yard, but their driveway is a source of, their avenue to get home.
Right.
So
right. They take
and I love it.
Many on that kind of thing take that yard for granted. They don't even think about it. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. Yep, it always looks good, and they're always being, they're mowed and all these other things. Just as long as it always looks good, that's kind of what they're looking for. But the driveway thing, I absolutely get what you're saying. Cars rocking around, there's mud holes, getting the car all muddy longer and things like that. So yeah, I think that's a great model.
And I love it. I thoroughly loved mowing, but let's be honest. I get in the 4760. I turn the music on, and I got the AC bumping, and the music bumping. It's all bumping, and I'm comfortable. The only time that I sweated this past summer when it was 90-something degrees, and this is no lie, the only time that I sweated was when I was loading the tractor and unloading the tractor. Other than that, man, I was smiles for miles.
And from a marketing perspective, lawn mowing is pretty simple to market. You're out mowing Sweet Sue's yard. Everyone sees you. You're there every week. You just kind of pick up the neighbors. Tractors, you're doing one job, and you'll probably never do another job like that again, probably ever. I'm watching you on Instagram. You're constantly doing all these jobs. How are you lining them up? How are you marketing and keeping the pipeline full of work?
So I only did Facebook ads. So I spent a little bit of money, sponsored some posts on Facebook, but I won't say 100%. Some of it's come from Google, but and talking to potential customers and customers that I've done work for, when I get done with a job, if you don't mind, hey, go on Google. If you're willing to give me a 5-star review, that really helps out the Google algorithms and stuff like that. So, but I had paid ads on Facebook that helped out a ton. And just, word of mouth, talking to friends and family, just like getting those lawn care jobs. But something you said, that you may not get that job again. What I have focused on is the gravel driveways. It does create repeat business because that gravel driveway, that aggregate base is always moving. So within a matter of time, a few months, the gravel driveway needs to be repaired again. If it gets a lot of traffic, then, a lot of these people order a lot from Amazon. Amazon vans are up and down these driveways every single day. And, if you have the same experience that I have with Amazon drivers, yeah. Anyway, so things get tore up.
Okay,
yeah. So I tell these folks, hey, listen, just because we got this driveway squared away doesn't mean we're done, So I'm like, hey, 6 months from now, call me. It's always cheaper to do like a little maintenance visit than it is a total repair. So I do get repeat business, and I'm starting to get that now.
One of the other questions I had with that is when you do establish those, just like when you used to do the landscaping, if you will, that other business by doing their driveways, is that stimulated any other business, tree removal, something else that you can do with your tractor, specialize with your tractor, or digging a hole or whatever for anybody? I guess I was just curious about that as well.
It has, because when I talk to that client, they always, now granted, I'm not new in my community. Right. Mythco Outdoor Services is new. Okay, so they don't really know what Mythco Outdoor Services does. That's my new business. Right. So they know based on an ad they saw that, gravel driveway repair. But then when I get there, what else do you do? So I tell them, like, these are my laundry list of services that I provide. And I bought the Land Pride grapple for the front of it, which is probably one of my favorite attachments for the tractor is the grapple. It's just fun just to use it and grab stuff and move stuff, So I tell them, like, hey, listen, if we get a bad storm come through and you got some trees that come down, you need storm debris cleanup, hey, I'm your man. And the tractor I got, there's a sole reason I got the Grand L 4760 because it's in the compact range. It's not too big like a utility or ag tractor, and it's not too light, So it's got some lifting capacity and stuff like that. So there was a reason that I got the Grand L. Many different reasons, but I always tell them, hey, I offer a bunch of other services. Even on the turf side, so I still do some mowing, but like one-time mowings, hey, we're going to list a property for sale, can you clean the property up? Or I'm also in the chemical application stuff too with herbicide and fertilization. So it gets my foot in the door to let them know what Mythco Outdoor Services does.
I think that's great.
What's been your most memorable moment in the tractor and making this transition from mowing to tractor business? What's been the most memorable moment so far?
I had a lady that she literally got teary-eyed. I take what I do seriously. If I can, and it's amazing, how much like people's emotions come out if they've been dealing with something, And this lady's driveway was rough. I mean, rough. 1,000-foot long. I mean, it was like a $10,000-$11,000 job, that they had put off forever. And I've been able to offer project financing, which has changed the game for me. And without going into all that, it allowed her the opportunity to afford a project that she might not have otherwise been able to afford. So one, being able to offer the project financing was huge to her. And two, sometimes I'm too honest, but I told her like it was. This is exactly what I was going to do, when I was going to do it. And, I encouraged her to get 3 quotes, 5 quotes, whatever, get more quotes, which, in essence talks myself out of business. But, I stand firm on what I do. I stand firm on the service that I provide and the product I'm trying to sell. And, I want people to compare me to other people because that's how I get better. And, she came back and said, well, I wasn't the cheapest. I wasn't the most expensive, but what sold me was the time that I spent with her, talking to her about everything I was going to do, everything that the water was going to do, everything that the gravel was going to do, everything that she could expect 6 months from now, 8 months from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. Like, I go overboard, but I try to be, I'm my best salesman. So, but when I got done with the job, she thanked me to the point of, getting teary-eyed because, I guess the service that I provided her was just top notch. She appreciated everything. And that's been so far the most memorable moment with the tractor business, is just seeing like how much, doing the right thing and doing it when you say you're going to do it can have a positive influence in someone's life.
That's been a huge thing. I mean, I talked to a lot of landscapers and people in different industries and things like that. And that's probably been the biggest thing since COVID. People will get a quote for something and never get a call back, or no one will answer the other phones. And I think that executing exactly what you're doing and going overboard and communicating that like you said, you're your best salesman. And I believe your quality work speaks for itself. You can see that from the images on your website and all those things that, takes it to a really high level. I think that's really a key thing, that when the people do hit your website, that's what they're seeing. I think that's great.
I'm big on image too. So I show up to and I catch flack from the guys in the industry in other states. They pick on me because I keep my equipment clean.
I can attest to this.
Yeah, they're like, oh, dirty equipment makes money. And I get it when a guy's got like, a 75-3 sitting at a job site for 2 weeks working. Like, you can't, it's working. I get it. But like when I'm done with the project, it's either cleaned immediately or it's cleaned before it goes to the next project.
Right.
So when I show up to every project with the tractor or my mowers, they're clean, because I have an image that I'm trying to uphold in the community. What that means to other people, I don't care. I know what it means to me.
That's right.
And Mitchell, you take a lot of pride in Kubota country, and that's why I wanted to connect you with Tom and the team here, because you're passionate. You bleed orange. Why is that?
So, like I told Beth, and I hate that she's not here at this event, but I told her, I'm brutally honest, and orange is my favorite color. So it was it narrowed down the market to the tractors that I was going to look at, without getting into other brands and stuff. But I've got a great local dealer, and dealer support, dealer network is huge to me. Sync Farm Equipment is my local Kubota dealer. They're awesome. They're well known in the community, and they rolled out the red carpet, for me when I got there. I'm big on building rapport and relationships with the dealers. And when I got there, it wasn't, they don't try to force a sale down your throat. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, what needs do you need met? And we'll see what we have that can fit your needs, and the guys that I dealt with at Sync were awesome. I knew about Kubota for years. I mean, let's face it, Kubota's been around for a long time. I always had heard that Kubota made a good tractor. It being orange made it really easy for me. I'm a dork out with the color orange. Like, I love it. It's my favorite. It's in my business logo and everything. But I knew they made a good product. It was orange, and I had a great dealer.
Yeah. Just real quick on that dealer, CJ was one of the original Kubota dealers and the first 25 or 30 dealers in the country. We just last year celebrated our 50th anniversary, and what we did where we had our dealer event is we had a kind of a bubble for everybody when they started, and CJ was on like one of the first two rows.
Awesome.
CJ Sync, and so they've been there a while.
It's a great
like
dealership.
You said, it's more than 45 years, I believe.
It's a great dealership. So. And I love the brand. I mean, I really do. I love the brand. Dealing with the folks with our partnership has been great. The two mowers that I have on the turf side of Kubota have been wonderful. I thoroughly love the Z781, which is hard for me to I feel like I'm having to eat crow because I never thought I would run another sit-down zero-turn mower because I love stand-ons so much and for all their pros. But I have thoroughly grown to love, and I'm not BSing you. Like, it's honest, comes from the heart. Like, I really, really enjoy the Z781. It's a great mowing mower, and I mow my yard low. I'm converting it over to Bermuda, warm season turf. I mow it low. Normally, low mowed grass or grass mowed low doesn't stripe well unless you're forcing it with some type of roller or something or combing it. But that mower, and I'm mowing at 1 3/4 inches, which is low for a regularly rotary style mower.
It sure is.
That's low. It does it. I get very minimal scalping. I've got some lawn leveling to do, so it's not anything the mower's doing wrong. Right. There's just some uneven spots, and a rotary mower will scalp cutting that low. But I kid you not, Paul can testify. He's been to my house, and he's been on the Z781. When you go down and you turn back and look, it's striped like it's cut at 4 3/4, like it's a cool season turf. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Yeah. And I'm sure that little front flap, the little rubber on the front, has something to do with it, but also the technology and engineering in the deck.
Right.
But it is just an awesome cutting mower, and I like the SZ26 I have too.
Yeah, our engineering team does a great deal of work on cutting performance.
They all need a raise,
and they we do what we can, but. On cutting performance, that's one thing that Kubota really likes to hang our hat on is that cutting performance. And everybody cuts grass, and a lot of machines do it. We just like to do it near the best or the best. So that's our focus.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate it. Is there anything we're leaving out here that needs addressed?
No, I just want to say, thank you for the opportunity, to partner up with you guys. And I'm looking forward to many more years of Kubota country.
It ought to be working great. Thanks very much.
And let folks know how they can connect with Kubota and with you, Mythco.
So I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, all same thing, at Mythco_outdoor. Check me out if you got any questions about Kubota equipment. Hit me up. If I can't answer it, I know who to reach out to.
Right. Also, for Kubota, just check out KubotaUSA.com, and you can get a lot of information about Kubota and all the different products we offer and the different things that we're doing here at Equip Expo.
And thanks to Kubota for the partnership here at Equip. Of course, thanks to the Equip Expo. This is my favorite trade show of the year. I go to pretty much all the industry, trade shows. This is the best one, in my opinion, by a long shot. And you guys can listen to our show. It's daily, Monday through Friday, the Green Industry Podcast. Typically, we're talking about lawn mowing business, but as Mitchell's career goes, it's next to impossible to have a full-time job and a full-time lawn business. So the tractor move is great for him, and I thought it'd be a good fit to bring him on to talk about it. So
I appreciate it.
You can catch our podcast, the Green Industry Podcast. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.